Welcome to Distorted Opinions. I'm Kayla, and I'm with Matt and Ted, and we have some great guests joining us for today's show. We're with Blaine, Kevin, Daniel, and Chris from the Michigan-based death metal band Ritualist. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
And we got a whole band.
We got
Just a single guest this time.
First. It's a first for us.
We're happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I know it's
the cherry's
one of the
been
really...
Oh my god! Let right
What are we,
into it, baby. Let's go.
What, not
It's
even a
been
minute
10
into the show.
seconds.
Say it, man.
Here we go.
Don't sit on it, just say now.
Foreplay? What?
Oh, man. It's going to be quite a show, guys.
This is going great. He'll be right back. He'll be right back.
Yeah, Blaine just walks away. He's done with us. Anyway.
All right. Well, I was going to say that Blaine and Ted actually met through Twitch, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. We have, Blaine was playing games with the streamer I was watching, and then learned that he was the guitarist in a band, and I googled said band, realized how awesome the music was, and as a heavy metal enthusiast, as anyone that listens to this show knows, it fell right into the wheelhouse of everything that I really enjoy. So I bought their EP, which just came out January 1st, and listened to it at least 40 times, beginning to end. So reached out, happy that we were able to get the whole band today. Thought we might get one or two, and yet we got basically the whole band, except for the drummer.
He's back.
I'm back. Was it me?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I don't know if everybody else...
We got most of it. You just skipped
All
like
right.
a word. It's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yes, via Twitch, met Blaine, and it made it work. So definitely happy to have you guys here.
What were you playing, my guy? Blaine?
Siege, probably. Rainbow
Probably
Six
Siege. Sounds about right.
Yep. So, first of all, pretty awesome EP, because for what the sound
Awesome
quality
to the 10th
is on that
power.
record is like just as good as any other major label, in my opinion, if not better. So definitely impressed. And for like anyone that doesn't know or is not familiar with the band, or obviously we're just introing them now, but it's heavy metal, progressive death metal, deathcore, gent combo mix, all the subgenres of heavy metal combined together into what you guys do. So super heavy. I actually played one of your tracks for a friend of mine who is into rock music and metal, but he's like, whoa, this is heavy. As his first reaction, I was like, yeah, this is good.
We like to punch people in the face with our music.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of how I have it as a description. But so it's super heavy. You guys have a lot of technical guitar work, which I love. And there's melody in parts, like supporting in the background. And the screaming vocals are just like, can't get enough of them. It hits all the right notes, if you will, pun intended, I guess, for what you guys put together. So definitely a masterpiece of an EP. So the EP has 5 tracks on it. It was released January 1st of 2021, and it's only 18 minutes long, which is fine, because then I'm just looping back to the beginning and listen to it all over again. So nice and brief. For those 5 tracks, what is your favorite one that you wound up putting together, or what is your favorite one to record, perhaps? Or I mean, well, how was that process musically for those 5 songs? What's I don't know.
I like
what
some
would
of
be your
them
favorite,
for different
or
reasons.
somewhere
I
along
think
those lines?
An Audience of Desolation is probably my favorite song, because the outro on that song is like, I don't know, it's just insane.
That's a really
crazy.
fun one. When we went into the studio, An Audience of Desolation was actually like our least favorite song. And then we worked on it with our producer, and like, just did everything we had to do. Blaine and him helped. They worked on that outro, that last breakdown, which is heavy as hell and just ridiculous. And it ended up actually becoming our favorite song.
Yeah.
I think that's the best song on the album, and a lot of people that I talked to agree. But it's
the song's completely different from the way that we brought it in. I mean, there's a lot of still a lot of the same parts that were in the song originally, but we cut out a huge section and replaced it and completely changed the ending of the song.
Nice.
I was sad to see that section go at first, but then the way that it ended up, like the final product was just like, damn, dude, we've had to.
It made sense.
Nice. My personal favorite song is Neural Inferno.
That song's that's the most fun song.
Well, we always say I think for me at least my favorite song is Neural Inferno, but I think our best song is An Audience.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that for sure. That Neural Inferno is so much fun to play.
I fucking love that song, dude.
I think one of the things Ted, I, and Kayla all mentioned is when we're listening to the EP that we all agreed that that song was actually our favorite off the EP too. And just again, it's one of those, just like what you said, just punch in the face type of.
It just right off the rip.
It's heavy as hell, but I love that it ends like very melodically and huge and
very,
big.
very much
and it's
so.
like it's massive in all ways. Yeah,
it checks all the boxes.
Yep.
And so to unpack that song a little bit, right at it's like a minute 9 is an absolute freight train of a wall of sound just plowing through, like just complete chug and oof. It my favorite part of that whole song. Just nicely done. For the recording aspect of that, obviously you mentioned your producer, which I have some questions about that too. But
credit where credit's due. You mentioned how like good it sounds. It's all him, man. Lee Albrecht.
It really is.
Lee Albrecht does a good ass job of making shit sound. He's good quality, like commercial quality. Honestly, he's really good. He's growing a lot, and he needs the credit he deserves. Honestly,
100%. And I knew that. I saw that in your credits on your YouTube videos. And how did you find Lee?
I've known Lee for like almost 8 years. I met him through my sister when she moved to Grand Rapids to go to college, and they were going to the same school. So then they met, and then I kind of introduced Lee into recording, sort of, and then he just.
Dude, it's funny because him and I like helped him out a little bit when he was just getting started. Like I had to tell him to like pan guitars left and right, and then like look at him now.
Dude, he just took it and ran with it.
And he's like by far the most successful with it than anyone.
Probably
else.
One of the more successful producers in the whole tri-state area, honestly.
Right
at this
now,
point.
at least, yeah.
He's working on tons of stuff all the time.
He's killing it, man. The dude's doing a good job, and
That's
we're really appreciative of having him as a friend. You know, it's a fucking valuable ass resource to have.
Yeah,
for real. And so in that recording process for Neural Inferno, kind of get back to that, and in the recording at the very end, we talked about the melodic end and how it has like the piano, keyboard, sort of synth sound, but there's like this vocal choir piece overtone in the back. Like, was that like a keyboard, like generic sound stuff, or was it just Chris in the background singing along at the top of his lungs? Or
it's plugins, man.
Yeah, we actually bought the plugin.
Yeah,
like Lee bought the plugin specifically for that part. I think
he was like, this part needs this exact thing. He's like, I don't have the plugin yet. And this dude was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it right now just because this part needs exactly that. Yeah. And it's like a freaking like a $500 plugin.
Yeah, it's
like,
not cheap.
It's not cheap. And he was like, I'll buy it right now just for this song. I'm like, damn, dude. My dude. Awesome. Yeah, he bought it right then and there. Busted out the credit card, flexed on us. He's like, let's go.
You'd be surprised. One small dynamic would change the whole aspect of the song.
It really did. And like it's stuff that we always wanted to put into our music. We just didn't have the plugins to do it, or we didn't have the resources to do it. So when Lee did it, it kind of forced us to get that stuff for when we record our own stuff or like write our own music. So now the next stuff we're working on is definitely going to have a lot more of that.
We're at least going to come into the studio a lot better prepared and like have our own like version of it. Because when we went into the studio the first time, we didn't have any of that. And Lee asked us if we wanted like any of those orchestral elements and, you know, those big synth type stuff. And we're like, dude, yeah, let's mess around, whatever you have. Like, we're down to just throw that shit in there. And ended up sounding like it sounds, which kind of like, I think, changed the whole sound of our band. Honestly.
Yeah, it definitely did.
And it gave it a way better quality than we expected, like going in to begin with, you know? So,
and I mean that's part of that polish that I was trying to reference earlier with making it sound. I mean, for you guys not being signed technically, you know, not major label signed at all, but to have an EP of such quality that rivals anyone like that, it's like, when are you guys getting signed next is really my question, because I mean, who doesn't want that on their, you know, is it Nuclear Blast going to sign off real quick, or
we managed to get on their playlist somehow.
I heard.
Yeah, that was crazy. I could not believe that.
Shout out Nuclear
happened.
Blast, hit us up.
No idea how that happened. I was stoked about it though.
Nuclear Blast, what are you doing? Sign this band.
WYD.
Yeah. Or Century Media, like any of those, you know, those labels would definitely, I feel like you guys would fit into their catalog of bands that they wind up signing. So definitely fingers crossed for you guys that someday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, when that date happens, okay, we need to have you come back on the show and say, guys,
we're going to celebrate it.
We'll read the contract with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We'll sign it right here. Live signing.
Yeah.
Join in.
Nice. So, with the band coming together, and I mean, we've kind of unpacked the EP a bit, but how did you guys start? I mean, were you all friends before? Were you just like
There's a lot
looking
of
for?
stories.
Like,
This is a long story. There's a lot.
Y'all want content?
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Where do we even start, dude?
Danny and I.
Yeah,
I knew Danny before I knew you.
right.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We knew each other kind of similar.
I was in a local band, and Danny was in a local band out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And my band played with his band a lot because two of my members in my band were from Fort Wayne. So we would play shows a lot together. So that's how I know Danny. And then Kevin was a fan of my local band when I would drive up to Grand Rapids to play shows. And then, so when that band finally finished, I started working on music with Kevin. And that was like 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
And then we finally.
Honestly, I haven't been doing music without Blaine. Like, seriously. I was in a band before and I was like 16 or 17, but after that, it's been since like we were like 19 and 20.
Yeah.
And we're 26, 27 now. And we've just been doing music together this whole time. And they came along for the ride finally. It's what we needed, man. Yeah. It's what we needed.
We found Chris on Craigslist.
Yeah, Chris was literally
a hidden gem.
Yeah, truly. It was like
impressive.
It was the crazy. It's like still crazy.
We had a group chat and we were like, dude, we just found this guy. He sounds fucking good. Look at his like
Danny
his
found him.
Danny found him. Yeah, actually, someone from work like sent you the link, right? Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
So then we were like, okay. I was like, I'm the one that lives in Grand Rapids and he lives in Grand Rapids. So I was like, I gotta hang out with him, you know, and see. And I was like, he's really good. Honestly, if I just like hang out with him and he's not cringy as fuck, then he's in the band. And I hung out with him and he was only kind of cringy.
Not cringy enough, Claire. So.
Not cringy enough. He made the cut.
The cringe factor.
He made the cut. We were walking downtown Grand Rapids and this dude's screaming on the sidewalk. And I'm like, Chris, dude, we're in public. Chris can scream all damn day, dude. That's why he's as good as he is because he's literally always doing
car
it.
rides get a little long.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about someone falling asleep.
Yeah,
Oh, shit. Yeah, he'll keep us up.
Wired all the time.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we ended up all getting
Craigslist
together that
find.
way. Yup. Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Nice. And so musically, for I suppose anyone, I mean, did you take any lessons to get into the playing style that you are, or is it just like teach yourself? I mean, the three of us are musicians. I primarily play drums, but I started on guitar. I still have all my guitars and bass stuff too. And I only took a couple of lessons on guitar, but primarily self-taught, and drums I'm completely self-taught. So what's the situation on your end in terms of, was there any formal training? Because I feel like the guitar work is, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some schooling or lessons involved, because it's really, really good.
I'm entirely self-taught. I started on drums and then I moved to guitar because my sister got a guitar for Christmas and she never played it. So I was like, well, I want to learn how to play like As I Lay Dying riffs and stuff. So I'm gonna, and I couldn't play drums at like 2 a.m., but I could play the guitar at 2 a.m. So then I just taught myself guitar I started in 6th grade, I think. So
I went to YouTube University. for my
same
guitar.
here.
Yeah.
I did get some of those cool DVDs.
Yeah, I
I
started
think
with
we're in the same class.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I started with Guitar Hero 3 actually, man. I bought that and I was playing it on Expert. You know, I beat through the Fire and Flames on Expert. You know, 77%. I barely
I was
made
gonna
it.
say,
We're all
is
so
that in the
impressed.
70s? Like the rest of us?
I barely. But I was like playing that a lot, so I was like, fuck it, I'll try the real guitar and see what happens. I feel like you should answer this question too, because you talk about the
He's
guitar
most
work.
learned.
Yeah.
But the guitar work is really all Danny. So come on in here, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can hear you. You got to come up here.
Yeah, can you hear me from here?
I can
I
hear
think
you.
so, yeah.
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 I started probably about 10 years ago. I did take lessons for 4 years. I started wanting to go into college to play classical guitar, so I'm classically trained, but I decided it wasn't for me after those 3-4 years, and since then it's been self-taught YouTube University, but it laid a really good foundation, I think.
And that kind of explains why the classical guitar influence in that guitar piece. So completely makes sense. Why it sounds so good.
The first lessons I actually ever took were in April from his brother, and it was it's just like theory lessons. Because I never like learned theory at all. I didn't even know scales until April last year, dude. So I finally,
still don't know any.
yeah, you kind of just know shit. And Blaine's like one of the primary writers of the band, so he's just plays shit until it sounds good.
I think there's a lot of that though. Like I think you'd be amazed at how many musicians, particularly guitar players out there, are phenomenal at what they do, but they don't really, like if you ask them to play a certain scale or something, they don't necessarily know what it is, but they can play the hell out of their guitar.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of funny too, because like I don't want to age Ted, Matt, and I, but the era that we came from, picking up guitar and picking up other instruments, YouTube wasn't really a thing. So that wasn't like. Now you can easily, like I do it all the time. I go watch a video on YouTube, like, you know, how to play this scale or something about music theory or whatever. And that wasn't a thing when I first picked up guitar. It was like, you had to read a book, you know, go to a music
Guitar
store and get a
World
book.
magazines.
Yeah, Guitar World
Sure,
was
had, like,
the
5
And they would
go-to.
come with a little
What do they got
CD
for the
of like,
tab
can you
this
play
month?
this?
Yeah,
Well,
like
I think it's interesting because like even from when we started to now, there's like, been such an evolution on like education on YouTube.
Like musician and stuff like that. Like if we were to like start learning now, it would be like completely
you just start ASAP. Like you dive right into the deep end.
And I feel like the skill ceiling has moved up too.
Oh, way the hell
like,
up,
dude. There's like people like just random people on YouTube that can shred circles around pretty much everybody I know. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts to see.
Yeah,
And the crazy part is that it ranges in all ages too. I mean, you have like 6-year-olds out there that are like
prodigies,
drumming with Dave Grohl all of a sudden.
Yeah, shit, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, Nandi Bush now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's one of those deals where like Matt and Ted have heard me say this before, but I won't post video of me playing on YouTube or Instagram because like I know those two will talk about what a great guitarist I am, but in comparison to other people that I follow on those platforms, I'd be so friggin' embarrassed to post. Like I feel like my playing is an embarrassment compared to some of the other people. Like especially I do follow a couple of kids that have got to be like 10, 11, 12. And Matt and Ted, I sent you guys a video last night of this kid out on the West Coast that I don't know, he's maybe like 10 or 11. And he's killing it on this steel, like slide guitar, just amazing stuff. And it just blows me away the amount of talent that's out there that, like you said, it's not even, you know, we're not talking big name musicians or anything. It's regular Joes sitting around recording themselves and posting their videos. So yeah, it's definitely the change between like us, the three of us, when we started and where things are. And then I'm sure even just, you know, with you guys where you started and where things are at, it's crazy.
I think the biggest thing is like when we started, at least when I started, the guitar videos that I was looking at was like, it was at least Guitar World videos and stuff like that. Yeah. And now there's like stuff that's specific to this genre. It's like, how do you write a death metal riff? How do you write like a progressive metal riff, which like that wasn't around back then.
Yeah, I mean it sort of was. They had like the school of rock. I can't remember.
It wasn't
like,
nearly
Job for a Cowboys guitarist did a whole segment on like writing death metal and stuff. Like Rob Arnold from Chimera had a DVD and stuff. But like that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as like specific as it is today. Where it's like
and like the diversity of it too.
Yep.
Like there's tons of people that do stuff like that now too.
Not only that, but like the technology that is available now, like to record yourself at home, it's so easy to do now, and it's so accessible. And you can have like free templates. I made a template for Danny on his computer with like all free plugins, and it sounds awesome. It's great. Like it's great for writing. You know, it's just it's crazy how far technology's come. It's awesome.
DIY Renaissance.
DIY baby.
Nice.
So I got to ask that, you know, even too, you know, when we think about, you know, when we picked up our instruments all back then, that the way that we write and the way that we play is also influential too. So the bands that we're listening to back then also, you know, cookie cuts that inspiration to what we want, you know, right as of today versus what is already featured on YouTube. But that actually brings my first question. Maybe as this is probably for a question for the whole band, but what are some inspirations that you guys write? What are some inspirations that come when you guys write?
I would say Fit for an Autopsy is one of our biggest.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of changes though too, because like the music scenes, like especially deathcore, is like it's constantly changing. Like it's like just like any music scene.
It's evolved a lot just within the past few years. So it's like as the scene evolves, like our preferences evolve and what we write kind of evolves. Even like Blaine and I have been writing together for 6 or 7 years, and like the style of music that we've written together is like it's ever flowing.
Yeah, I think we landed on deathcore because that was like. That's the bread and butter.
Dude, I've always just wanted to write heavy shit, man.
Yeah,
it's
like, the bread and butter.
I'm like, I'm sick of people telling me that's too heavy. It's too heavy.
Yeah,
like,
where's your clean vocals?
Nah, son.
I want it.
Here's your clean vocals.
Crush people,
Exactly.
So, I guess you want like specific bands or something like that, or is that what?
Oh no, just anything that was like influential. Whether it's
Fit for an Autopsy is probably one of the most influential for me at least.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the same for you guys.
What would you guys say?
I'd say Fit for an Autopsy, like they said, or Psychroptic influences.
Yeah, you're big on
definitely Psychroptic for you for sure.
Thyart, Thyart's huge. Who else? Random Sacrifice. Now we're fucking listening to them.
Sure,
Bill Jart, we can't forget Bill Jart's on
Humanity's
Last Breath. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. It's funny. It's you can hear it in our sound. Like all the influences are there.
Yeah. In looking at your Bandcamp page and seeing some of the references and some of the bands you've kind of linked at, if you like Thyart's Murder, like you'll like Ritualist. And so I wasn't familiar with Thyart, and so I wound up listening to a couple of tracks on YouTube and definitely see the resemblance of some of that influence. And still, I think you guys are better, but
sir, might have to stop you right there, my guy.
What, I can't compliment the guest? Like
hard to disagree with.
You're pandering, sir. You're pandering.
20 minutes of the interview and now we're done. Wow. Not only is this the first full band, but also the quickest interview.
Hot take.
No, definitely good stuff either way.
I would consider Thyart probably like the biggest deathcore band right now.
Oh, dude! Ever since Hate came out in 2012, absolutely.
They're the top of the genre, honestly.
Yeah. Aside from Whitechapel, but they're not even really the same anymore.
It's we talk about how quickly deathcore evolves, and like Whitechapel deathcore is a completely different deathcore than Thyart.
Yeah, and I mean, they were somewhat similar. Like Thyart is similar to what like Whitechapel was back in like 2009.
Yeah,
and Whitechapel's like kind of dad metal now.
Yeah,
they're more in.
They're
the
chilling out,
like,
man. They're probably like
Five Finger Death Punch type stuff now.
They're getting
more in that direction. Not exactly the same, but like they have clean vocals and like whole like clean vocal segments in their music.
Dude, they're probably just like, we're not that mad anymore.
Right? Yeah.
They got all the anger out
we're
after all these years.
We're grown up. Life's not that bad. Dude.
Yeah.
Chill.
I got a
401k now.
I got a 401k, dude. I got health insurance benefits.
I got
and
kids
shit, man.
to pay for.
No kidding, dude. We'll probably get there someday too.
That's funny. And I suppose another question I have, I suppose also back to studio work. How much time did it take to record the EP? I mean, it
3 weekends, I think.
3 weekends.
Yeah.
3 weekends.
Yeah.
We tracked pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Danny's a fucking monster on guitar, so this dude just tracked shit like fast.
Like one takes,
Yeah,
pretty much.
and so did Chris, dude. Honestly, Chris was
That was like the most impressive tracking I've ever seen in my life.
That was nuts. Vocal tracking for sure.
Mm.
So I think it ended up being 2 weekends of strings and vocals, and then we did live drums on the third weekend.
And speaking of drums, I saw that you guys have a new drummer who is not with us on this recording just yet.
Man's got to pay the bills.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where did you find your new drummer? Where is that? Just a friend that you had in the wings?
Actually, the band that Blaine's old band and my old band would play with, he was the drummer for that band. It's close to a decade ago, and he's only gotten better. So I think I speak for everyone. We're super stoked to have him. He's driven. He's learned our EP and some new material in the process of, a month and a half, 2 months. He's working hard at it.
Shout out Tommy Cox, man. He's a good
killer.
dude. Yep. I'm really excited to keep working with him.
Nice. And then you've mentioned playing shows and all of that. Have with the COVID situation, obviously no shows, but is there like a touring schedule that you guys have on the horizon or would like to do on the horizon, I suppose? I'm sure there is a want.
Say we wanted
it's
to play
just a matter
again?
of is there a
We were
timeline?
thinking June, I think.
Yeah, I think we had said that we want to play in June. If shit's open, whatever's available, I think that's when we'd be. We just got Tommy, so we want to practice with him a little bit more and like refine everything. And we still got to figure like some stuff out live. You got to get just everything figured out. But I think June would be a good timeline to just start freaking playing. I want to play live again so fucking bad. Man.
Any musician, honestly, I'm sure is clamoring to just like give me an audience, please.
I practice in here and I just like blast my headphones like playing bass, and I'm like, dude, I just close my eyes and I can picture it being on stage. The energy, dude, I miss it.
Yeah, exactly. We've Kayla, Matt, and myself, we have been musicians and we've been in bands together and performed together over the years. We've all known each other since high school, so long history of being able to play, and definitely understand the feedback and the energy from the crowd that just helps make it a better experience all around, and you kind of give that right back, and just that whole cycle is just definitely addicting and something I miss too. So completely get that. Is in terms of touring, have you guys opened or just playing shows, have you guys opened for anyone more notable bands as like a starting point? Or
we played 2 shows before quarantine started, so we were like just about to. We were gonna play with Sleepwaker at Pyramid Scheme.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard them?
I have not.
They're from Grand Rapids too, and it's another band that Lee's worked with and produced them too. Really fucking good band. They're blowing up. They're doing some big things right now too, and that probably would have been the most notable show that we had booked. Yeah. I was super excited for that. That was scheduled for May 17th, man, and then March came and gone.
Oof. Well,
they're our buddies too. We're good friends with them.
Nice. And how? Go ahead.
So with shows, and obviously, quarantine fucking up everyone's life, and especially with the bands and whatnot. Has there been? You have the CP out now. Has there been talks with? Obviously we're starting to see the end of the light. Has there been, not sure if the music scene in your guys' area has slowly started to take submissions for shows in the future, maybe for the summertime, but any plans of maybe doing like live stream shows to celebrate, the release of the CP?
We've thought about it a little bit. We've been wanting to do live stream practices for sure, like just live stream a show. As far as like an actual show in Michigan, I haven't heard anything. There's nothing going on yet.
Nothing's been scheduled.
In Indiana, there's some, right? Like
there are shows in Indiana
already going on now.
Yeah.
Oh no shit. Yeah. That's when we talked about like we're probably ready to play a show in June, since they're already going on in Indiana. But as far as Michigan here, I haven't heard a damn thing, man. I don't know. We'll see. I think shit just opened up this past week, so.
I know they're rolling back restrictions at this point.
Yeah.
In a lot of places. So
Whoever wants it, man, we're down to play, dude. Let's go. Let's go. I gotta use my live rig, man. It's just been sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah. In terms of equipment and things, I saw the guitar playthrough YouTube video that you guys uploaded, so get to see the guitar in action as opposed to just listening to it, which is awesome. And that's a Jackson 7-string. Are both guitars 7 strings? I mean, I've only seen that one, the one guitar for reference. I'm assuming both were for comparable sound. But how, as someone that has not played a 7-string, I mean, obviously your low note is perfect for the extra deep grunginess that comes along with. But did you write only those all the tracks on the 7-string, or did you just come up with some riffs and then try to convert it? Or I don't know. I've just never don't know too many people with 7 strings. I know it's very common in the metal genre to have 7 strings. I mean, Korn did that a long time ago. But
Shout out Korn.
Yeah, right. So just curious on, is it just something you just get used to playing? Is that your primary? You just play 7-string primarily in general? You don't dabble in 6 strings anymore? And I'll start with that question before I ask a bass question.
Yeah.
I pretty much only play my 7-string for the most part now, but I'll still play my 6-string. But getting used to a 7-string did take a little bit, because I mean it feels completely different to me, at least. Daniel's
it's a wider neck.
Yeah, it's wider neck, and like I mean I'm not classically trained in the same way that Daniel is, so I can't like identify the notes as fast as he can.
I had been playing on a 6-string. I'm originally a guitar player, so I write some stuff for the band. I just recently got a 7-string, and I was playing on a 6-string in drop A, and I would just write riffs. I wouldn't write any like leads because I didn't have any of the high notes or anything like that. So it's been fun now, like rediscovering the scales and everything, and like relearning pretty much, and just having that extended range that I've always been missing. And it's cool to like put it all together and actually like whatever I'm writing, the band's gonna be able to.
Well, as someone who is classically trained, having the 7-string, it gives you that low note, like you're saying, and you don't have to like rethink what chords you're playing, because the rest of the strings are in standard tuning for us. So for me, when I write, I'm able to just write chords how I would on a 6-string and have that extra low note for our riffs.
Nice.
And that is not how I approach the guitar at all.
I play shit until it sounds good.
Yeah, same. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, I was going to ask about tuning, so that kind of answers that question already.
Yeah.
It's super easy. It's just regular 6-string tuning.
E standard with an A on a low A.
The low A, yep. Easy.
Nice. And for your bass, are you doing 5-string to try to keep up with the 7?
Yeah, I do. I
Show
play.
her off, baby.
Yeah, let's go. This is my baby.
Oh, dream. I believe it.
I don't play with fingers. I play with a pick. But yeah, I'm playing on a 5-string. It's the same thing. So like as a regular 4-string bass is it's the same thing. Regular tuning. E standard and then the low A here. So A, E, A, D or whatever.
Does that have a fan fretboard?
It looks like a fan fretboard.
It does.
And so, funny thing, we were literally talking about fan fretboards on our recorded podcast episode last week, and coincidental to see one in your hand there. How different of a guitar of an experience is that versus regular straight frets?
It was really weird at first, for sure. It is ergonomic. I'm used to it now. I think the biggest difference, it's not necessarily that it's fan fret, it's because this guitar that I have is freaking 37 inches. It's just a massive scale length. So, I mean, when I play like on a normal guitar, it's a little easier because it's not so far apart. But as far as sound goes, it's definitely way better because, I mean, it has that super long scale length. So the tension is just like, it handles that low end very, very, very well. I mean, and the pickups on it are great. A Dingwall is a great guitar to begin with. It sounds amazing, but that added scale length with the fan fret just makes it sound even better. I like it. I'm cool with it.
Nice. No, that's really good. Go ahead.
I have a question for Chris. So Chris, what are some we gotta get the vocal guy in there when at some point.
Hey.
So Chris, as far as equipment and whatnot, you know, obviously having, you know, very deep intonations of you know, vocals and whatnot, is there any specifics of piece of equipment that you have a preference to as far as doing vocals on, or when it was recording the EP?
Nah, I mean, we just use the SM7B, and live I just use an SM58, and that's like all I really ever like need, I guess.
Just very meat and potatoes kind of guy.
For sure.
It's all just coming from him. There's
Chris,
no frills.
Chris is just like, give me some shit to scream into, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
I'm screaming though.
This right here? All right.
That is a Campbell soup can. I don't care. We will make it happen.
I'm pissed at it. I don't know why.
He's a string.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Definitely not a gearhead.
I've been wanting to like look at there's like those like little modules that you can, it's like a guitar pedal, but to have like some sort of like vocal processing live, I think it'd be really cool to look into that for you. Because like on the EP we have some of those and I think we do this on our music a lot in general. We have that like lo-fi vocal where it's like, you know, very much in the background. And I think it'd be really cool to be able to just like hit a button, you know, live, and it just makes that sound for Chris, and you can scream into it instead of just screaming it like normal.
I'm not sure if I know that for a while Digitech had a vocal processor. It was it was like a purple processor. That's all I can remember back then.
There's a few out there.
Yeah. But
I don't know
but even with, you know, I know we were talking earlier today on you know, the plugins and whatnot, but even the plugins can offer different variations of vocal tunes as well.
Well,
so.
in a plugin setting, it's totally fine. Like when like Chris comes and tracks here sometimes, and it's like we can do everything we can on the computer, you know. But more for like a live setting, I think it'd be really cool to have that piece of gear, that hardware to do it with, you know. Unless we run you through a laptop live, that'd be interesting. I don't trust that shit.
I don't trust that.
No. Fuck that.
There's nothing worse than being in front of a live audience and blue screen to death. Oh, great. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Show's canceled.
We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
You guys like Rick and Morty? That's what the guy said when everything just shut off. They had no guitars.
It's a big band too.
It was a big band.
This was the headliner. This was the headliner.
Like their laptop that I think was running their guitars, their bass, everything.
They couldn't do shit.
It just went out, and then
it was drums and vocals. That's it.
And he just goes, "So, you guys like Rick and Morty?"
Oh no.
Bro.
You guys like memes?
Yeah.
You paid for this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh no. And I suppose one other thing, I feel like I'm kind of tearing through all the questions here.
We'll blabber more, I guess.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Keep talking.
I was going to say the video for the guitar playthrough that we talked about, that quality was really good. It was Malevolent Media is the name on that video. Who helped put that together, or is that anyone you know?
The guitar playthrough or the stream video? Because it's the streaming video is by Malevolent Media, which is like it's basically just our background and the logo and everything.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's what
so
it
it's
is.
like
He does awesome. Yeah, he does awesome work. That's I mean, if you're asking about that, then that's it's Malevolent Media. We just found him on. I think Chris found him on Instagram. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, and he's quick, man. Like, we had it like the next day, and I was like, shit, hell yeah, dude.
Because in terms of just background designs and I mean, it's more or less the modern. I don't know. I hate to call it a CD cover or you know the
album cover.
The album cover of sorts.
Well, the album it's really a collection of a lot of different artists. He just put the video together. You know, Malevolent Media. Yeah, he didn't make that album cover. Who did we get that from?
But it's like it's in motion. Like I feel like it's got some texture to it, so it's actually doing stuff.
So we gave him the album cover, and we're like, hey, can you make us a stream video and just like use this? And here's our logo. And just make something cool. That's literally all we said. Yeah. Make something cool. And he did that, and it came out fucking perfect. We were like, dude, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Nice. Yeah, because I just know it's your logo, and you know, obviously the front end of what's on the EP, but given all the textures and you know the way it was moving around in a sense.
Yeah, it's a little more dynamic than just like a static picture of our
right.
album.
And that's definitely seen a lot of bands do that. It's a lot of static, but then you've got like your Lamb of God promoting their latest music, and it has a similar effect type of you know, dynamic
it's a very
image.
very common thing in our genre specifically. Like there's just everyone has a stream video for something, you know. It's like it's
But
just to have some sort of visualizer to put out there with it, you know, to keep it interesting.
Sure, but I'm just, my point being is that another thing that, because it was dynamic, it wasn't a static image for what I would assume is, you know, a newer band that is putting out so much quality, like polished material, so all at once, or as I discovered, you know, it adds a bit of credibility to your band because of that polish, as opposed to a static image. Because I feel like if I were in a band, I'd be like, yeah, we need to put it on YouTube. Well, static image, because I don't have time. I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Those details are extremely important. And it's really all just marketing and like advertising, and it's trying to go for a professional look. And you know, the band is new, but all of us have been doing this for quite a while. We've got a lot of past experience. We've seen how
learned our lessons.
Yeah, we've learned our lessons. We have very knowledgeable friends as well.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable friends. Great network to get resources from, you know. And I think we're doing a good job so far with the way that we're handling it, and I'm just excited to keep doing it.
Nice.
Perfect.
No,
Speaking
agree.
of and we were touching upon the artwork. Tell us about the artwork, the idea behind it. Did one of you guys create it and draw it up and then post it?
We found it, Matt Erskine was what it was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you found it. You want to talk to it a little bit? I mean,
I just found it on Instagram, I'll be honest.
straight up.
It was getting dangerously close to our album release. Like we've been saying, we learned a lot from this release, and going forward, we do want to commission something that fits the mood of our next release. But we were lucky enough to stumble upon this art by Matt Erskine, and it fit. The reaction from everyone is that it fits our sound of the EP perfectly. We couldn't agree more. So we were lucky enough to find it before we released it.
We had something else prior to that. We had like something that was a lot more. It was just like
more abstract.
It's a space cloud, pretty much.
Yeah,
it was just a space
really
cloud.
cool looking space
It's
cloud.
fucking awesome. We were like, bro, we should still use that for a single someday or something, like whatever.
I mean, it's cool. Yeah, it's just really abstract.
But-
It's like kind of ambiguous.
but
Didn't
we-
really have a meaning.
We all knew we had to find something else that was like, okay, we need something that's a lot more impactful and like a lot more descriptive of our sound, you know. And so I think we had a vision of what we wanted to find, and like we were very much on the same page as far as what style we wanted, like that like oil painting looking style, like almost Renaissance. We're all like just really big fans of that style of art in general. So Danny found that one, he sent it in the group chat, and he's like, what do you guys think of this? We're like, dude, buy that shit right now, dude. Yeah.
Just
That's
clicked
awesome.
with all of us.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the basis of our imaging and branding right now, you know.
Sure.
Everything is like that purple color, that purple pink, or whatever, you know. That same color scheme is like, it's consistent throughout all of our platforms.
Sure. No, it definitely looks really good. And it's funny, we were talking about you know, modern day you know, putting a band together now and going through all these different phases, and how much easier it is, or you know, just like, oh, I saw this on Instagram, oh, I can just, we found, you know, this guy, the vocalist on Craigslist, you know, just like using the internet to bring everything together within reach, and you know, what a time.
It certainly makes it easier. I'll fucking say that, dude.
I mean, there are two sides to the coin though, because like it makes like starting a band a lot easier, but like everything feels so oversaturated. All the time.
I mean,
like there's a million bands.
Everyone has the exact same access to all this shit that we do, you know.
So it makes it way more competitive.
We literally said that like yesterday, like, dude, there's too many fucking bands, and we're like, and we're one of them. We're one of them.
Hey, there's a lot of podcasts. We're one of them.
The age of the internet, dude. This fucking everyone can do anything, you know.
Photographers, videographers, podcasts. Like I've experienced
any
it
kind
all.
of media.
Yeah, media is huge right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in on the photography and videography train just to like have content for the band. You know, that's like the whole reason why I did it. Joining another cliche. Here we go.
Collect them all.
Yep.
That's right.
Nice. And I think while we're towards the end of questions here, I did want to hear more about what we had opened with in some of the project names that you guys had for the
You son of a bitch.
recording of the EP.
I can handle this if you don't want to. I love this shit. Hell yeah.
So I'm curious. So you had some great names, apparently.
Legendary.
Legendary names. Legendary.
Code names for this project. What were some of those names?
So I think since you guys like Neural Inferno a lot, the original name for that song was Shit Sandwich. It was great. It was awesome. And
I forgot.
it is.
I forgot.
I remember fucking all of them, dog. I remember them all. Okay. We're just gonna go from the intro was always the intro. If it used to just be called intro, and like 3 days before we released the EP, we're like, dude, we need a fucking name for this. And like Chris and I were just like
looked up cool words.
Chris and I Googled a bunch of shit. And we're like, there's no lyrics in this. We're just
We're
like,
so
fuck.
creative.
Dude, hey, resourceful. We're resourceful.
Yeah, right. That's
Resourceful.
the word.
Ritual featuring their
Yeah.
single "Shit Sandwich."
Shit Sandwich. Neural Inferno, the first one was Shit Sandwich. Kana Tavoro was my favorite, dude.
Oh,
Turd Burglar.
that was mine.
Shut up, Blake. Turd Burglar. An audience of desolation used to be called Fecal Fashion Fest.
All right. Oh,
Shout out, Danny.
We have a theme going.
Yup. And then the lamb was Harry Choco Star.
Yeah.
Yup. Blaine also for that one.
That was another one. God, mine are so gross.
Yours were
Mine are
nuts, dude.
gross.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we keep working on songs, and it was like we actually did a vote on this because who was it that complained about this? Danny complained. We're like, dude, can we like name something like something else? And I'm like, no, we need to take a vote.
One of our tracks is called "Does It Have to Be About Poop?"
Yeah. Yes, it does. You've been outvoted. Fucking get on the shit.
I can only imagine the set list because you have those fans out there that grab the set list after seeing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit
They
sandwich,
grab the
turd
set list, they
burglar.
go, Shit Sandwich, Turd
And
Burglar.
This doesn't line up with the album at all. What is this?
in the studio, we had it written as like the working titles, just to like as a joke for like working, like our organizational process was like Turd Burglar, fucking Harry Chocolate Star, and all that. It was hilarious. And then we were like, wait, which one is this again?
Yeah.
Well, happy you put real names to the songs because I think it makes it more professional.
Yeah.
But
I still would have bought the EP.
no, we
I,
still probably would've bought it.
I got outvoted on it. I wanted to do shit names, but
That's awesome. And so, with that, for like what for the song names, obviously, like you just Googled effete, which
The
I
intro,
suppose
yeah.
is the pronunciation.
the feet, yeah.
Effete? I don't know.
I looked it up because I wanted to know how to pronounce it. When
Oh, we
I got
looked it up because we wanted to know how to pronounce it. we need to
Google
make
has
sure.
a great thing that like it'll say the word for you. I was like, I need to know how this is pronounced because I thought it was like effete.
That's what
or
we were
FFA.
saying. That's what
Yeah,
we were saying.
it's a feat like defeat, but without
Yeah.
the D.
And for those listening, it's EFFETE as the spelling for that. So I mean, a lot of interpretations there.
Do you know what it means?
No,
Feet.
I mean,
Basically, not capable or ineffectual. So I was going to ask if there was some
I thought
meaning
you were
behind
asking
that.
us,
but-
and I was like, I forgot.
Well, yeah, no, I gathered when you guys said you just Googled names that you probably didn't like. There wasn't some reason behind the choice of that.
we actually like the definition of it actually was like kind of we were like, okay, the word sounds cool, and the definition is actually, kind of sort of relevant to the theme. It fits the motif of the
Sure.
EP, so it kind of worked. But I forgot, so I looked at Chris. But then you came in for the rescue. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I got you.
Shit.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm glad we
dodged
don't
a bullet
look
with
like
that
idiots
one.
Now.
On
the spot.
Nice. And I see you guys have a merch website, which, I mean, is that? I mean, what? Tell the listeners what type of merch you have going on your merch website.
We got t-shirts, long sleeves, sweatshirts, and beanies.
Get your merch at ritualistmerch.com.
We're snake oil salesmen.
Yep.
That keeps you warm.
Yeah. So it actually does work. So it's not really.
We have a hoodie. We have a hoodie.
Yeah.
And a beanie.
And a
And a
beanie.
beanie. And a long sleeve. For those spring days.
And 2 t-shirts.
And fall weather.
Yeah.
They have clothes that can keep you warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Just no pants.
No pants.
Just
We
no
got to
pants.
work on
Not
those.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Get your ritual underwear.
Our chief merchandising officer will work on something here pretty soon.
Yeah. Figure it out.
It's amazing.
Nice. Well, Matt or Caleb,
yeah.
what are the questions you have, if anything else?
Just want to quickly touch on, the specific gears and whatnot. So, excuse me. Wow. More leaning toward, Blaine, Daniel, and Kevin and whatnot. So so I know we were talking about basses. We were talking about gear. I'm sorry, basses, guitars. Let's talk about effects. Those distortion, those crunch tones are phenomenal. And I got to know, what on earth are you guys using for those awesome tones?
For
Because
the
they're phenomenal.
EP or for live?
Just for anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, I mean,
if we want, we were talking more on the EP, so let's talk on the EP and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what tones were you guys using?
It was an Engel Savage, I'm pretty sure.
no, we didn't. He
You
didn't.
ended up using that?
No. So the majority of the rhythm tone is actually it's probably like 80%. Yeah, there's a dog upstairs. So if you guys hear that,
I have a
lot of
1-year-old in the
walking around.
background.
I get a cat.
yeah,
Busting. Yeah.
For the rhythm tone, it ended up being mostly Fort and Nameless, which is it's a neural DSP plugin, fucking great plugin. It's what I use at home. It ended up being mostly that. Lee layered in a couple other tones with it. The crunch tones are, I think, mostly Archetype Pliny. Yeah, he used a lot of Archetype Pliny for that. Oh, he used the Will Putney STL tones.
stuff.
That's layered into the guitar tone as well. It's like 3 different guitar tones, dude, all in one. He's
Yeah, the STL
man's
stuff is
nuts.
what I primarily
Yeah.
use at
But
home.
like the vast majority of it is the Fort and Nameless. We did actually try to get a tone with Danny's Angle Savage, which was in the guitar playthrough video.
Yep.
We tried doing that with the Horizon Devices overdrive pedal, and so that's kind of like layered in there. That's providing a lot of the low end sub for that part of the guitar tone. Originally, like when I was working on it with Lee, we were supposed to make that the main part of the tone, but he mixed it all himself, and he said it the Fort Nameless ended up working out better for it. So a lot of different things, a lot of different plugins going into play there, but yeah, majority Fort Nameless and Archetype Pliny, I think, are the big things there as far as guitar tone goes.
Now, when you guys record the EP, did you guys do this all through an interface, or did you guys go through amp? Oh, okay, perfect.
Interface, we recorded all DI, and then we reamped some of it, right, to get the tone. But like I said, most of it ended up being the plugin.
Phenomenal.
They're just that fucking great nowadays, man, dude. Like
it's insane.
Yeah, that's shit that I can just buy. Like that's $100 plugin. It's not that expensive, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of like $1,000 car rig.
Yeah. Friggin' Danny's Angle's over $1,000. Yeah, like $1,500 or something like that. So it's and it's barely even in there.
Yeah.
All that money. No, that's only when you guys go out.
Nothing.
I feel
What's
like
that?
It's
feel
like
like, you know,
saving it for when you actually tour. and
That's
go
right.
out,
For
so.
fucking gas money.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Kevin, you mentioned this earlier that we're talking briefly on home studios, in that the home studio kick is now starting to become a lot more populated, which may suck for studios because they're kind of they're in competition with that, but the VST plugins in there that the what used to be so rare, where you spend hundreds, maybe even $1,000 for one product, that the further that digital recording comes with home recording, that it may those costs even become lower too, and you have these incredible tones that come right out, like what you're saying. You may have 50 plus different types of guitar rigs.
Mm-hmm.
All through literally just a click of a button, and next thing you know, you change the whole dynamic of the guitar. So that's phenomenal. I wanted to ask that, as far as when it comes down to the EP, like, if it was through the interface or if it was all amped through.
Yeah, it was all DI, and then we just reamped some stuff, and most of it plugins, man.
It's so accessible.
And I saw
secret.
Jira was promoting.
Dude, I still haven't messed around with that, but that shit looks amazing.
Yeah, their
so
promo
good.
video for that recording pit looked amazing. So we're talking about this recording setup.
That's the same company. That's the same plugin
I recognize
company.
Neural. Yeah, that was great question, Matt. Because things I don't even think about. I'm too much in the drum realm these days.
Connecting the dots.
Yeah, like. I understand what's plugging in. It makes a lot more sense, and seeing what even in didn't Gojira record like they advertised their new song or whatever, and it's like we recorded on this plugin because
did they? I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they recorded From Mars to Sirius, or a song from one of their older records using only the plugin.
Oh really? I haven't heard that. Oh shit!
It was on Instagram.
Yeah,
okay,
John DuPont.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
He's got a cool guitar.
Dude, that guy's so cool. I love Gojira so much.
Great band, dude.
So good.
I remember discovering them when I was like 14 or something like that. The heaviest matter in the universe. I was like, oh fuck, this is the heaviest shit I've ever heard. Yeah. The fucking pig screams.
Oh, dude, yeah, it just sounds like you're ripping like duct tape off of a
yeah, no
dude.
shit.
So sick.
We're big fans.
Yeah.
So I actually have one more. I have one more question, and so as a band and whatnot, the lyrics are awesome too. But when you guys write the songs as well, are you guys all collaborating when it comes down to writing lyrics, or Chris, is that more toward kind of your area?
I pretty much lead the charge when it comes to lyrics. I don't know. I just have pretty much like come up with themes that like sounded fun to write about, and that would also just like have room for like a narrative or just I don't know.
I feel like it all has a theme.
Hodgepodge, I guess. Like not much of a uniting theme throughout the EP that like was really intentional at all.
Sure.
But
it's all dark.
Similar vibe.
Yeah, it all has a dark vibe, just like different dark vibes. Yeah.
Different story, same vibe.
As far as compositioning, like Chris wrote all the lyrics, and for the EP, as far as for pre-production, you came and tracked them at my place. So like Chris did almost all the phrasing, but we helped out a little bit. It was kind of collaborative. I feel like really everything in the band, everything that we do is very collaborative, and that's why it works, is because you hear a little bit of all of us in there. If it was all one person, it would sound different than what it is now.
Right.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah. No. Shoot. I feel like we just unpacked all that. I've learned so much.
A lot that goes into it.
We're really interesting people.
Yeah.
No, but it's really cool to get a current perspective as to what it takes to record an EP of the magnitude of and the polish that you guys have put out. And obviously we talked about the technology that changes things, makes things easier. And then their network obviously helps, and not being your first rodeo in terms of, being in bands and lessons learned. So, pretty exciting to get to hear about all the the current state of music and things. I guess another question I'm thinking of it, how big of a metal scene does the Grand Rapids area have? I know we're being in Massachusetts, there's a couple of dedicated rock clubs where like if a small venue that would host like Gojira traveling through, or a bunch of lower underground bands that are local. I'm sure the scene might be similar. I've never been to that part of Michigan, so I don't know the area or what the scene is.
I think Grand Rapids has a very, very healthy scene. We'll see what it's like now coming out of quarantine.
Produced some pretty big bands too. Like I think We Came as Romans.
No, they're Detroit. We Came as Romans in Detroit.
Maybe one of the members is from Grand
Maybe.
Rapids.
Sleeping with Sirens.
That's what I.
Their bass player. Dude, I went to high school with his brother, actually. Nice. Yeah. Nicky Hills. Yeah, I went to high school with Nicky Hills. But we've got a good mixture of we have a massive venue, Van Andel Arena, where it's like the big huge mainstream like pop artists, or like as far for metal, it's like Slayer's their
last
farewell
tour that
tour
they
or
did.
whatever. Yeah, that get passed through there.
I mean, we have the intersection.
The intersection is probably like the bigger one for metal.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
20 Monroe. 20 Monroe's bigger.
20 Monroe's
yeah.
pretty big too.
That's another big one. That's like literally across the street from Van Andel Arena, and even the intersection, that building itself has 3 different venues in it. It's like the big main stage of the intersection, and then there's like the front lobby that's called the Stash, and then there's like another like basement it's called Elevation, and Elevation's actually a sick venue.
Yeah.
Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids. There used to be before quarantine, there was like a lot of like smaller venues. Like we played at a church.
Oh
freaking Take Hold Church or something like that. Yeah. That was not Ritualist, but Blaine and I's previous project.
I mean,
Nice.
Grand Rapids is honestly pretty competitive with Detroit in terms of the music scene. I think Detroit's a little bit.
Detroit's
more
definite.
robust.
Detroit. Dude, it's freaking Motown,
Detroit.
son. Like, yeah.
Michigan, I don't know. It kind of sucks because like Michigan gets skipped on a lot of tours because
or they just
it's because you have to go up into the state and drive back.
Yeah, it's not like on the way to anything.
No, right. Yeah. So it's out of the way. So we get skipped on quite a few tours.
For Grand Rapids, as far as like bigger bands, like a lot of Dispute came out of Grand Rapids too, didn't they? Actually, that's another big band. Not metal, but currently right now, do you guys know Hollow Front?
I don't.
Hollow Front,
they're getting pretty big.
Yeah, Hollow Front, Sleepbreaker, I think are the bigger bands right now for like our genre at least. Who else is big from GR?
That's about all I can think of.
Yeah, right now. Well, they're just like just major standout bands. Them too. Hollow Front, just signed to Unified, and
that's a really big label.
Really, probably
especially for their genre.
The biggest label, for this genre right now, I would say. So they're onto a big, huge
Hollow
thing.
Front. All right, check them out.
Hollow Front, check them out. Yeah, that's another band that Lee's worked with.
He's actually working with them right now.
Yeah, they're in the studio.
They're at Atrium in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. I think. Which that guy's done like August Burns Red, or those guys. It's Grant, and I can't remember the other guy's
Grant
name.
McFarlane. Yeah, fucking A. I don't remember the other guy's name.
But they've done like August Burns Red, Era. Those are the 2 big ones that I can think of. Texas in July.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a ton of stuff. They do some big projects.
Rivers of Nile went there too.
Yeah, Lee was actually talking about that.
Yeah.
That's for a different discussion.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, GR is awesome. I love GR.
Yeah, I know for our area we have obviously the big arenas, and obviously Boston doesn't really get skipped for any tours whatsoever. Being the hub for most of the Northeast outside of New York, you go to Boston. So we're kind of lucky in that sense.
You guys get all the prog bands too.
Yeah, dude.
You got Berkeley over there.
Shit.
You guys get all the cool prog bands.
Yeah, a bunch of
fucking all the nerds.
Talented people walking around. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Very perfect.
I have asked all my questions.
Got all my questions. Kayla, you got any questions?
Well, you guys kind of covered the questions I had on my list.
I figured most of the 3 of us were
Matt's last
hit all of
question
them.
literally was the last question on my list. So yeah, you guys pretty much covered it.
We blabbered long enough.
No, good.
No such thing. We're good. So we always end our shows with a song of the week, and so I figure I will. We never make our guests go first, by the way.
Thank fuck.
Just our courtesy.
Really want to,
Unless you really want to. We're already breaking the
guys.
mold here with having a whole band. So, I mean, no. So I figure I'll just go first, and my song of the week pick is Neural Inferno, or is it Shit Sandwich? I believe it's the more official term. So definitely my favorite track on the EP. It is awesome. I already talked about the wall of sound that comes in at 1:09. It just chugs right through. It's heavy as hell. I just can't get enough of that song. So definitely my song pick of this week is that off of your EP. Is awesome. So
we love that one.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's a fun one.
Who doesn't love a shit sandwich?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Delicious.
Is it lunchtime yet? Oh.
Yeah. Just about, honestly.
And Michaela, you want to go next?
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Matt, did you have another comment, or were you going to go into?
I was just going to jump right into the song of the week, but we could jump right in.
All right. So real quick before I do my Song of the Week pick, your weekly reminder that we have a Song of the Week Spotify playlist. We put the link to that in the description of every episode. So if you want to hear all of this week's picks in their entirety or any of our previous picks, you can find them there. The playlist is getting more and more eclectic every week. So just brace yourselves if you haven't checked it out yet. And with that, in true Distorted Opinions fashion, I'm also going to have to go with a song by our guest for this week. But I was pretty sure, actually, that Matt was going to pick Neural Inferno, but he's not. And then Ted picked it. So I just steered clear of that and went with a different pick, even though Neural Inferno probably would have been my first pick. I went with Effete, which we talked about a little while ago, obviously by Ritualist. It's an instrumental track. It's a shorter track, coming in at just under 2 minutes, but like all the other songs on the album, it's still got face-melting heavy guitars, heart-pounding drums, killer bass lines. But what I really like about this track are the more melodic aspects, again, that we talked about a little bit, and that classical style guitar playing kind of coming into that. But it definitely reminds me a lot of 12 Foot Ninja meets Killswitch Engage meets another artist that I've talked about on this show that I think probably not as many people are familiar with, Dave Martone, who is a Canadian guitarist. And the melodic aspects of it have, to me, a lot of the sound that Dave kind of has in his playing. And granted, his guitar doesn't have a whole lot. I don't know if it has any 7-string, but the melodic aspects of it are very similar in my mind. But it's just a really, really cool track. It's one of my favorites off the album so far. Doesn't have as fun of an original title as some of the other songs. I think you guys said it was intro initially.
Okay. Shitty intro, we'll say that.
Yeah. There you go.
Add an outside theme together.
Boom. Yo.
That's right. So Effete is my pick for the Song of the Week this week. And with that, we can send it over to Matt. Sorry I cut you off there.
Oh, no worries at all. And hey, right after this interview, I'm going to be listening to that whole EP from back and forth all over again. My song of the week, I was saying this in pre-show that I'm a really, really big fan of hearing and really being that first impression. And I'm going to go off of, it's track 3 on the EP of Ritualist and whatnot. But I was originally listening to the 2019 demo of Kana Tavoro, also known as Turburglar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we know this song.
Remembering this one. So
they took notes.
So it's funny. I almost said so. Turburglar. Kana Tavoro. The 2019 demo, which is again on track 3. A little different as far as, from the demo to the EP went up. But what I really like about the demo version is we were talking earlier about kind of those classical elements in the guitar. And I believe that, Daniel, that was coming from your end. Correct me if I'm wrong. And when listening to it, I want to say probably around the minute 19 part, you could hear those tones coming out. And what's great is that we're talking about really in your face, really, get ready to go through a brick wall. But at the same time, hey, we're going to give you a gentle massage on your ass. Okay. So it's phenomenal.
Little booty slap.
Little booty slap, booty loving. But it's what I found to really be great about this whole EP in general is that it's heavy, but it's also melodic too. And I really respect that because it's very attracting. It's very catchy. And I think that's just what really made this whole interview amazing to have you guys on, is because this whole EP is phenomenal. You don't really hear many EPs having that really type of a grab to it, but I'll definitely have to say this one was a grab for me. More specifically, that's why I was making Kana Tavoro, Turburglar, my song of the week for this episode. But with that being said, gentlemen, I have to say, what would be your song of the week?
We chose. Do we want to do like each one of us?
Yeah, we
or,
can
like-
do each one.
Yeah.
'cause,
Let's do it even more.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first.
It adds more to the
Shit, no,
playlist.
because you're the one that picked that
Oh,
song
well,
initially,
okay.
so you go.
So my song of the week is Earthless by Humanity's Last Breath. I know we mentioned them earlier and you guys said you hadn't heard of them yet, but it's off of their new album that just came out recently, Valde. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is. They're Swedish, right? Yeah. That album has been my favorite piece of music that I've heard like in years, like just front to back. It's just fucking captivating for me because it's massive, huge, melodic too, but it's like sludgy and slow and brutal and everything that I'm using to describe that album can be used to describe that song, Earthless. So highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Go into it with an open mind, but oh dude, such a good song. That's my song of the week.
I'm gonna have to pick Glutton off of the same exact album, off of Valde. Humanity's Last Breath has been kind of like a pretty influential band, especially for me. And like that, every album they put out has been good, but this one took the songwriting to a completely different level. And like I don't know, there's just like the intro is just so dissonant and heavy. It's just like and like they're kind of getting a little more experimental with their music, because I know the Buster, who writes a lot of the music, he really likes Sun. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. It's like weird drone metal. Like there's not really any drums. It's all just these crazy long, like
Big
accentuated,
sounds,
like wall of sound
Like
notes.
one note every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like when Sun plays live, they have like 10 like 6/10s. Just stacked up, and they're just like they're trying to, I would say, like chromesthesia. I can't remember the name of that. Synesthesia or something like that. It's like where you see sound as a color.
Oh yeah.
But like
Okay.
Humanity's Last Breath is like pulling a lot of that inspiration into their music, and I love it so much. It's just so much fun to listen to, and it's so dissonant and just sounds like truly evil, like kind of makes you anxious almost. It's just so much fun.
It's cinematic.
Very cinematic. Honestly, I could say my song of the week is that entire album, because you have to listen to it front to back.
I'll say that whole fucking album.
It's that good. It's front to back.
Like I told you, that's the best album I've heard for me personally in years.
It's really good. It's really good.
We talked about that we're going to listen to the EP in its entirety. I'm going to put this album listening in front of that. I hope that's okay.
I don't care.
Please.
That's important.
No shit. Just don't listen to ours after, because then it's gonna sound so bad.
I highly doubt that.
It'll take away from the impact.
All right, Daniel, Chris, what are your songs of the week picks?
My song of the week is actually one that just released this week. It's from a band called Brand of Sacrifice. They just put out a brand new full-length record, and my most notable track from that is called Mortal Vessels. That band is just like, they're like same genre as us, deathcore, but just like, I don't know, the production and like sound they're using is just like way over the top, like overproduced, I want to say, but like in a good way, and it just sounds like ridiculous.
Definitely.
And that track in particular, it just like comes out of sort of like a slower, like melodic build-up intro, and it just like fucking hits you. It's just like mad riffs, and it's really fast-paced. And then there's a vocal feature on that record from one of my favorite vocalists. His name's Ben Dewar from a band called Shadow of Intent, and his part on that track just like blows me away.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
That band is truly indescribable. Like you cannot describe their sound.
No, you just have to listen to it.
Yeah, you really do.
It's deathcore with a shitload of noises.
Yeah, it is so much fun.
Really well done.
It could be considered maybe overwhelming at first, but like it grows on you so fast. It's just so fun.
And that new album that just came out, it's very it's very well written. It's crazy as hell, but like the way that the songs are structured, it's easy to digest.
Yeah, everything's very.
It just came out Friday.
Yeah, it just came out on Friday.
Oh wow, so we're learning.
Yeah, brand new, dude. Yeah, brand new.
Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, another album to listen to from front to back.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Wild ride.
Chris actually took my pick, so I'm gonna go left field. Leave the Door Open. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak collaborated. My favorite pop artist, my favorite R&B artist. Check it out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Nice.
Wait, what's it called?
Leave the door open.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were saying like you'd be open-minded about this.
That's where I thought this was going. I mean, we are. I mean, it's anything and everything music. So
He's like,
those
don't
sort
judge
of
me for
picks,
liking
it's
pop.
fine.
Yeah. I love pop too, dude. The second favorite genre probably.
It's
Yeah,
funny
so-
because the more we're adding to the more we add our song of the week, it grows this playlist. And we're waiting for that one guest to take a massive ass like road trip, just playing the whole Distorted Opinions song list. And oh no, we're getting up there. It's
I
almost
mean,
kind of like,
to be fair, we have everything from marching band music to Lamb of God to there's Nutcracker
Humanity's
in
last
there.
breath now,
like,
son.
yeah, like it's just literally all over the map. Like, so I mean, these picks, each one of them will be going onto that list, and yeah, it'll.
great music to be baked on.
It'll be about 6.5 hours of music here by the time we're done with today's show.
And
So-
take some powerful
all
edibles for
emotions are
that.
right.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really
Thanks for having
enjoyed
us.
talking with
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely.
Again,
Yeah.
for everyone listening, this is go listen to the Ritualist, An Audience of Desolation EP. Came out January 1st. Awesome music.
Phenomenal
as we
EP.
have described this whole show. And then check out their Bandcamp or their merch, ritualistmerch.com. They're on YouTube. They're on Instagram. Any social medias. Go
All
check
the
them
streaming platforms.
We're on the internet.
We're on the internet. Fine.
Yeah.
Just Google us.
out. Yeah, the Ritualist Michigan,
name.
or put Michigan on it so you don't get confused with
Yeah.
one out of Kansas. But
Yeah.
No shit. Shout out.
yeah. So hey, I don't want to steal your spiel. I think you have like an outro script.
Yeah, no worries. So just, for our audience, if you're interested in being a guest on the show, or if you have a suggestion for future show topic, reach out to us, and there's a few ways you can do that. You can leave us a voicemail on our Anchor page at anchor.fm/distortedopinions. We've been getting a few more of those recently, and those are always a ton of fun. While you're there, you can also find links to all of our social media accounts, as well as a partial list of the places that the show is available in audio-only format. It's only a partial list. If you don't see us listed on your favorite platform, just search for Distorted Opinions. We're probably there. If we're not, reach out and let us know so we can look into getting onto that platform, because there are a lot of platforms out there that we don't know about. And the other way you can reach out, if you prefer kind of the old school method, is you can email us. Old school, like the three of
Snail
us.
mail.
Send us some
Snail
smoke
mail.
signals.
We don't have a P.O. box, so the closest we can do for you is an email address.
Send a raven.
Yeah. A mail pigeon.
right.
Yeah.
Carrier pigeon.
You could snail mail us at Distorted Opinions, P.O. Box 12.
Yeah.
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 There it is.
Just
you
kidding.
You can. The closest you're going to come to snail mailing us is emailing us at distortedopinionshow@gmail.com. You can also leave us a comment or send us a message on any of our social media platforms. With that, thank you guys again for joining us. It was really
Gentlemen,
a lot of
thank you.
fun having you on the show. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you guys playing some concerts.
I know
not
when
too
we
distant
can actually go out and
future
see shows.
Yeah.
We're looking you guys up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for having us.
Thank you.
Gives a
Thanks.
reason
Yeah.
to make a road trip to Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Come through, baby. Come through.
Lovely
Right.
place.
That's
Amazing.
right. Awesome. And
Awesome.
thank you to our audience for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a whole new episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.